In our Geminizer app, let's say we'd like the tile to reflect the last song that the user has listened to, and we'd like to display the song's album art here in the tile. And actually, we'd like the last few songs to cycle through the tile, and we can do this using the tile notification cycling feature in Windows 8. Let's open our play page views code behind, and let's navigate to the selection changed handler for the track list control. And here, once the track is loaded, then we'll invoke a new method that we'll name update tile with current track art, which will create a new tile notification using the currently playing track's info, such as name and artist name, and also album cover image. So to do this, we'll open our view model, our play page view model class, and we'll create the method we've just invoked. Now let's declare a tile updater object that we'll use in this method. And I'll bring in the notifications namespace here, Windows UI notifications. Now we're ready to retrieve the tile updater for our application tile through the tile update manager. And by calling the create tile updater for application method, we get an updater that knows how to update our default tile, application tile. Notice that we can also get an updater to update a secondary tile. Okay, now before we go on, let's make sure that we enable cycling in our application tile. And by doing this, we're enabling our successive notifications to cycle through the tile. So the user will be able to see each of the, say, 5 last songs that were played in the application. Now let's go ahead and select a tile template. And we'll do this by selecting one of the template types here, one template type, enumeration type values. And here I'm selecting the wide peak image 06. If I hit F1 to look at the available values, let me do a quick find here. And this is the template we're using. It's an animated template, a peak template that shows alternatively this image up here and this view here, which has a small image and a text string. So overall, we have 1 text string and 2 images that we can use to set our own content. So we'll do that. First, let's grab the XML for this tile template. And now we will use the DOM API to extract the text nodes called text and set the text to our own content, which is the track's name and artist name. And then we'll grab the image from the template, from the XML. And again, using the DOM API, we'll set the source attribute to the album cover image. Let me bring in the DOM API namespace here. And remember, we have a second image as well, a small image. So we'll also grab that. We'll set the source attribute to the album image property in our in our track object. So at this point, we've selected a wide tile template and we've set our own contents, and that will update the tile, but only the wide version of the tile. Now, if we also want to update the square version, then we need to do a little bit more work. So let me add in some code here. And this code here will update the square templates. So what I'm doing is retrieving a square tile layout template here, as opposed to the wide template that I'm using up here. And then I'm getting the XML for that template, which is a separate XML document. I'm setting my content in the text node. There's a single text node and a single image node in this template. So I'm setting the content. And then I'm actually importing the binding node from this second template here into the first template up here, the XML template here, under the visual node. And the reason I'm doing this is because of the way the schema works. This is the schema hierarchy. So we have a tile root element, and underneath we have a visual element, and then a binding element, and we can have a couple of bindings, one for the wide tile and one for the square tile. So that's what we're doing. And finally, we need to actually create a tile notification object using the XML that we've built. And we call the update method and pass to it the tile notification object. And that will update our application tile. Now let's go and run the code, and we'll play a couple of songs and we'll look at the way the tile is updated. Let me go to the play page. I'll select a song, another song, and let me select a third song. Okay, now let's go to the start menu, and we should see notifications come in shortly. So this is one of the songs. Here's another song. And here's our third song.